Everyone, this is Mrs. Peterson, and I'm going to talk you through doing your first self-evaluation. Today, this particular one is for AAVTC. And so once you get into Canvas, you're going to go ahead and go to Modules. Even though this is for AAVTC, it would work for any class. I'm just going to talk through this particular class. In your modules, you'll go ahead and look through and you look for self-evaluations. So here it is. You're going to click on it. And it has all the instructions here and where you're going to turn it in here. And I have detailed information to help you once you finish the self-evaluation to go back and look at all these. It's going to tell you how to get the best that you can. All right, so editing photos in Photoshop is the name of this self-evaluation. That's going to help out for one of the question answers. Self-evaluation. Create a Google Doc to answer the questions. Use MLA format. In your handbook that in AAVTC is green, but every other class has a different handbook, it is explained. MLA format is explained and it has an example, but I'm going to go ahead and talk you through how to do it in a Google Doc. So here I am. I'm going to go New, Google Doc. If you go to this arrow, you can go from Template. And there might be templates already, or you can go to general, or you might even be able to search, but I'm looking in general, and right here is an MLA format. I think I added this at one point, so you probably have to search for it. So I'm going to grab that. And if you start with this, you're going to be in a great place. Now, I will tell you there's a couple things that I already see that are wrong with this. And I'm going to go ahead and take this and delete everything below this because I don't need to put words works cited or anything like that, but that'll get you started. So your name, okay? So you're going to type your name. And this, I always use my granddaughter or grandson. So today it's going to be Serafina. And make sure your name is spelled right and it's capitalized. Your professor's name, that's my name, Mrs. Space Peterson. Now your subject name. So the subject name and the class period, which is not on here, but I'm going to show you. So I'm going to say AAVTC dot. That has to be in between whatever the name of the class is and the subject and the class period. So my class period is A4. It's either A4 or B4, but today. And then this is super important. It has to be in this strange way because this is MLA format. So today is Thursday, October 10th. So I'm going to change it to 10. I'm going to say October. And it's 2024. And this is not correct. So up here on the very top, you want to double click up here on the very top. It's already put a page number for you. That's right here. It says page numbers. It already has a page number, but you have to put your last name, which is kind of strange because it's Sarah Peterson and Mrs. Peterson. But anyway, actually, I usually say Sarah Grace. So let's do Grace, like that's her last name. So you don't get confused. And a space. Sometimes people don't put a space. I'm going to go ahead and pretend like her last name is Grace. Then you'll see it's the last name here and the last name here. This is in the header, but this is not in the header. And here's how I know. If I scroll down to the next page, which I don't have a next page, but if I scroll down to the next page, it would say Grace 2 on the next page. That's how I know it's in the header. Now everything's double spaced. And the way you can find that out is you can actually go to this up and down arrow right here, and it tells you that it's double spaced. But if it's 1.5 or 1. That's not double spaced. So you want to make sure that it is double spaced. And now, so far, this is MLA format. Okay, again, remember the dot and your class period here. Check all your capitals. And the title of your report is all capitals except for A and the, am, R is capitalized, but little conjunction words and little words like that. So I happen to know in this case that in this particular class, I gave you editing photos in Photoshop self-evaluation. So you could literally make that your title. Okay, so when I cut and paste, I have a little issue here. It's a huge font. So what can I do? I can change it back to the font. So if you are not sure, MLA is always in Times New Roman and 10, 11, or 12 point font. Yes, it's 12 point font. So now I have editing photos in Photoshop, self-evaluation. For whatever reason, that is not black. Not sure why. That's strange. Or you could just type it, self-evaluation of editing photos in Photoshop. Okay, so most people will just write self-evaluation or self-evaluation of. And it doesn't matter to me that it's this exact thing. It's that this is modifying the project that you're doing. So if you are doing MLA format and you're writing paragraphs without numbers, you can go ahead and start here. Otherwise, you could literally back up and type a 1 and a tab, and now we're in the same place. So this, I'm going to get rid of all this lorem ipsum, which is just filler text, and now I'm going to go back here. And it says create a Google Talk, use MLA format. It's explained in the meeting handbook. I just showed you how to do it through the internet. Answer the 7 questions. I have this. I also have it in a printed version if you like to have it in a printed version. This is how I grade. Okay, and there's even a grading scale here at the bottom. This is the question, and this is how you get answers. So if you're not able to connect the knowledge and skills to the assignment, you don't get any points. If you identified some of the knowledge and skills that are going to be assessed, then you get some points. Student accurately identifies all relevant knowledge and skills being assessed. So the first question is, what knowledge and skills did you attempt to demonstrate in this assessment? And I'm just saying, you're answering the question, what was the assignment? Include all programs that you used to create. It's written there, include all programs. So I'm going to say this assignment was to take a photo, portrait actually, of a classmate on a DSLR camera and transfer it to the Mac computers and edit in Adobe Photoshop. So I have what the assignment is, what we use, DSLR cameras, transfer, I'll talk more about that, or you will, and edit in Photoshop. So I talked about the equipment and what was happening. Number two is the biggest question that we have, and it takes the longest because it says, let's pull this up, explain in detail how you attempted to demonstrate each area of knowledge or skill. This answer should be at least 9 to 12 sentences long and a step-by-step process of what you did to complete it. This is worth double points. So all of these, everything else is worth 4, but this one's worth 8. This is where you're gonna literally step-by-step talk about, I got a DSLR camera and I put a battery and an SD card in it and I went outside, and then you take step-by-step what you did. If you're going step-by-step of taking the photos, putting the SD card in the computer, putting it in your folder, going into Photoshop, all the different things we did in Photoshop, you're just listing step-by-step what you did. It's going to be easy to get to those 9 to 12 sentences. If you start just putting fluff in there and say things like, I really liked this part, or then I had to know what I should do next, so no, you're giving factual step-by-step of what you were going to do or what you did, as if there's a new student sitting next to you in class and you're talking them through the project. So if you think about it that way, Depth and detail responses, strong evidence. So depth and detail is how you get those 8 points. Otherwise, if your responses are vagues or you don't really show how you're using Photoshop or the DSLR camera or any of those kind of things, you put it there. And you don't put like, I did this part wrong, or I really liked how I did this part, because those are questions that come in right here. So this is just factual step by steps. Number 3, what were your research sources for additional information needed for this assignment? And I tell you right here, this includes websites, videos, and people who explain in detail how you attempted. So I don't know why it says answer E. So maybe I'll take that off for you guys. Excuse me. So number 3, number 2 takes the longest. Number 3 would be, for this, Mrs. Peterson showed a PowerPoint about, Mrs. Peterson also had videos about my neighbor so-and-so helped me with this button. I took photos of so-and-so in my group helped me with this. So you list people's names in this one. Number 4. 4, 5, 6, and 7 are opinion. So you can get a good grade on opinion if you answer in depth and detail. Okay? And see how it says knowledge and skills? I want you to relate these back to number 1. What knowledge and skills did you attempt? So if your answers here relate back to what you wrote in number 1, if you wrote a good answer in number 1, then you'll get more points. I'm sorry, I have a frog in my throat today. What would you want to improve if you did a similar project in the future? This has to do with what you answered for number 1. So a similar project. If I had to take a picture of friends at a volleyball game in the stands, that's similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar. I would. Okay, so what would you improve? It could be on the photography itself, or it could be on the editing. Number 5, what else would you like to learn related to the skills up here? So you can't say, I would like to learn about Premiere Pro and how to edit a video, because it doesn't have anything to do with these skills here. Okay? And then if you're thoughtful and specific, I can give you more credit. If you say, well, I want to more about Photoshop because it's really cool. Well, that's very vague. And well, that one was connected to the learning objective, but the more specific you are, the more I can get you in this area, okay? In what areas did you feel were very successful? Okay, pick something that you did well. You had to do one thing well. And so write about it. Area or areas responsible are thoughtful and specific. That's how you get the 4 points. Well, I took pictures. That's very vague. Okay, specific. I took a photograph of, and make it specific. I'm not going to give an example because then you might use my example. Was this assignment valuable or not? Justify your answer. It doesn't matter to me if you think it was valuable or not, but you need to thoughtfully support your answer, just like in English class. You're supporting why you thought it was valuable. You're supporting why not. You can't just say, it's not valuable, I knew all this, because you're not supporting your response. But you could say, it's not valuable because, and list the reasons of what you already knew. And then, and then I'll be grading off of this, all right? So when you finish this, you'll save it, and it says right here what to save it as. Oh, by the way, here's all the things. Finish each sentence with punctuation. When you're finished typing your answers, save it and upload it to Canvas. So you're going to download it as a PDF and save as first last name of evaluation and turn it in here. All these things help you. All these things help you. So after you finish the report, if you look back and read through my tips, that will help you get a better thing. So I'm going to save it as first, last, name of evaluation. So here I go. First, last, Serafina Grace, dot, photography, eval, or self-eval. Could be the same name as what you have here or something short version, but I know that it's the evaluation there. Sorry about that. And then we download it as a PDF because that's what it said. Download as a PDF. It's going to download to your downloads. You're going to put it from, I've got to go. You put it from your downloads into your folder on the desktop, and then from your folder on the desktop, you're going to turn it in here. So let's go. Oh, I'm in AAVTC, so I'll go there. Oh, this is the one I'm going to turn it into. So you go there and you either upload it here, new, file upload, and go find it and drop it in, or you can actually literally drag and drop it in. That's all for now. If you take this step by step, you'll have a great self-evaluation. I love you. I miss you already. Go out and change your world for the better. Bye-bye.